guys what it is, the patience you have with me. Welcome back, guys. I like that my intros aren't traditional as well. Yeah, I just go with the flow. Okay, so yes, you guys, welcome to It's PuddinsT. And as you can see us, and here we are. And today with me, I have once again Miss Barbara with. I don't know why. It's something about your last name. I try to put like a little umph on it. I like it. Yes, you guys. So she has blessed us. She has come back to give us more and more. And I feel like every time we come back with you now, we up the ante a little bit. It's like we kind of like walking them through this process, and it's very, very nice, you guys. It's very nice. So today we're actually going to be talking to. Now, does Albert prefer to still be called Albert Einstein? Of course, because that's what we know him as. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like at this point where he is, that sometimes I don't feel inclined to even call him by his name. Is that weird?
Well, I would say that
So
in all the
okay.
years that I've worked with him, you can call him Albert or Al.
Okay, so Al is nice because I'm quick to shorten or against my nickname real quick. I love. Okay, so Al is good. Okay, so we do have some questions today, and Miss Barbara is here to channel Albert and the party as well. And I have a few questions that I would like to ask. Now, you guys, I did shape these questions or form these questions in the mind of someone who barely kind of knows Albert or wants to get to know Al, from a different, point of view. Because I've seen, like, we've all heard so many stories and we've seen interviews and things like that, but it's just certain things that pique my interest outside of what we think we know. I'd say it like that. Because, the public information that we get is kind of just surrounded by just, we have a theory here, we have this, we have that, and it's just numbers and science. So I have some questions where we can get into all of that and break it down to the point where we all pretty much get it. And so could you, before we start, could you just give everyone a real quick, just an example, not example, but just an explanation of what channeling is before we actually dive into it?
What this channeling is talking to people who have passed on in a way that I call the intuitive arts. It's done through imagination and sensory feel and picking up. It's not much different than writing music where you go and listen it from the nothing to hear stuff. And it has to do with imagination. I imagined I was talking to Einstein. As a psychic medium, I imagined I was, and then when I listened back to what was said, I was pretty much convinced it was, because it wasn't me, and it was so brilliant, and it since it was proven to be true. So I know there's different understandings in different cultures about speaking with people who are passed on. My whole experience of these many, many years I've been doing this is that it's no different than real life. There's spirits and that have ill intention in both the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. So it's just part of what we all need to learn is how do we maneuver our way through?
Because it's like, I remember when we spoke before, excuse me, and we were saying like a lot of it is making sure that you don't really second guess yourself and you go with your intuition and your gut and you just know. Because they confirm it for you. They most definitely will confirm it for you. So it's like you really just have to go with the fact that, listen, like this is natural. This is possible. And we all have the ability to do so if you tap into it, give or take. If you like, I think it gets a little sticky with that one thing, and I'm glad you mentioned that. It does get a little sticky when people think automatically that they may tell something evil or demonic, like with the work that we do. And I'm like, listen, bro, with the advice that I've been giving people, there's no way. Something demonic.
Exactly. I don't think the devil would come and try to teach us world peace. I just don't think that would be the, but
I don't think that's on their to-do list. I don't think that's on their agenda.
No, I think it's the other way around.
I'm like, and I honestly feel like they only say that so that they can keep people from tapping into that particular thing. or
Well, you know
wanting
what,
to indulge in those particular type of things?
the answer I like to give is to use a biblical reference to say, you will know them by their
Okay.
fruits. You'll know them by their fruits. So if what they're telling us to do is making us happier and relieving our anxiety and making us feel more connected and, clearer vision and sleeping well at night, that's the fruits that would tell me it's not something evil.
I love you. That's perfect.
I want you to
All right,
repeat
you
that
guys.
over and over again every time somebody says that to
Did you
you.
have anything?
No, you go.
And I love how you use keywords with me because they stick. They stick. Because certain keywords just really.
Which keywords are you talking about?
When you said just the one you just said, know them by their fruits.
Oh,
It's
okay,
just,
gotcha.
It goes back to the truth. It goes back to
The truth.
yeah. So that's why I wrote that down. Okay. It's just certain ways you put things that just make it just ties things that's already it ties the information that's already up there together.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a neurological functioning change when you connect the truth like that. It's a body thing, I think, that happens.
The wisdom
I did this talk in this channel.
It is actually, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it when our body does it, it sort of supersedes the thinking. Like you can still be thinking like we all do, overthink things and get out of our intuition. But when the body gets it, then we make decisions based on what the body wants, not what all this talky is. It's really interesting.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It really is. Makes perfect sense. I like it. Talky. Because that's how it feels. Oh, the inner dialogue is very, very important, you guys. Oh, and I also have, I think maybe 2 episodes on this channel as well about inner dialogue and how important that is. Okay, you guys. So, without further ado, did you have anything else to add, Ms. Barbara?
Well, I just want to, at this point, do a little plug for 2 things. One is the importance of breathing. So, as we're going through the reading, because we're going to open up the channel. And then I have my friend, breathedeepwithin.com. This is a wonderful woman, LaDonna, in Minneapolis, and she does free, online, regular Monday, Wednesday, Saturday sound healing. She's a certified sound healer and does those just for the world. She gets, grants, and so if anybody is interested, it's so healing and it's so important work. And I love that. I like to give her a little plug. So, all right. And then what was I doing?
You got to send me the information.
I will. I'll definitely email you. You'll love her. You will love, and she will love you to pieces. She's one of my favorite people. Yeah. You remind me a bit of her.
Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you. So that means I'm getting in. I'm getting in there.
You are already here.
I'm getting on there. Okay, so it's nice having the love reciprocated.
Yes.
Because I love to love, bro. Like and peace was just such a joy.
It really is.
It just feels so much better. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm over here getting all giddy and shaking the camera. I get excited about just, love. Okay. So, let's see here. Okay, so we're going to prepare ourselves and we're going to jump into the first question.
Okay, let's take a few deep breaths first together.
Right.
And if you're tuning in, just close your eyes and turn your focus inward and pay attention to your inhale and your exhale. And we will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and the greatest good be present here.
All right. So, to go into my first questions, before we do that, thank you, Albert, for joining us today. Thank you, Mr. Einstein. Thank you, Al. I'm trying all the names out right now. See which
It
one I
is
get
our
comfortable with.
pleasure. You can call me Al.
All right, thank you, Al. Oh, and also thank you to the party as well. The collective appreciates all of you guys. All right, so for my first question, I really wanted to know what is the biggest misconception that people have when it comes to you?
That I was a scientist. I was
That just
much more
bothers
of an
me.
artist that used the sciences, the language of the sciences.
I feel like we took a lot of the information that you presented to us, and we did, factor it into certain, things that we do every day, certain things that probably go over our heads, right? But I just felt like your work was always deeper than that or more meaningful. I always thought it had more meaning than some people gave it. Which I don't want to get into the conspiracy or anything like that with intentions and things of that nature. But I do feel like it plays into certain things in that area. We're gonna leave that for another day. But I do want to know though for my second question. So, what actually inspired your path? Like, did it start from the very beginning when you were younger, or was it something that clicked? You had an epiphany, like during, I don't know, maybe high school age, college age? Like, what happened? Like, what sent you down this path in the first place?
It really began far back in the beginning of my life. I came into life, you might call neurodiverse or traits of autism, such as that, because I had this gift of vision and I could see things I didn't always understand that other people didn't see. I had this ability to eventually articulate in a fairly succinct fashion, but it was really when I was probably about 4 or 5 years old when I picked up a compass. And the needle on the compass was fascinating to me. And you have to understand the time of culture at that time. Electromagnetics were just a beginning
Oh,
study. And that really was the physical, call it a sign, when I picked up that compass and it was like a voice that spoke. And when I knew I could hear that voice, then I had to follow it and listen to what it was. And at an early age, being able to do that was what really opened doors for me to be able to bring through the kinds of theories that I did at the time that were so revolutionary.
that is that's so intriguing to me because it's so 5 or 6 years old. Uh, I find that very interesting to me because when I was about six, maybe 5 or 6. I that's why I say I'm a firm believer in when it comes to children and their imaginations that we should really, to a certain degree, go with the flow when it comes to children and not just kill their dreams and their imagination. Because I ended up at 5 or 6 years old teaching myself how to visualize, right? And for me, it was just, I remember because I grew up with a lot of cousins. So I just wanted some peace and quiet. I was always kind of to myself. And it just seemed so busy sometimes. So imagine it was nothing bad going on. We'd be playing, watching TV. We grew up, we loved each other. We had an amazing time. We always do. It wasn't just trying to like get, I don't know, maybe because I'm an empath too. I didn't know at the time, of course, I'm 5 or 6 years old. So I would just go in my room. It started off with like stacking pillows to muffle the sound. It went from starting there to needing almost complete, like quiet, like almost about to fall asleep. Teaching myself how to visualize, and I didn't realize how much of a skill it was until now. Actually, I met someone a couple of years back who can't do it, and I'm just like, you can picture an apple or a piece of fruit, picture stuff, but they're like, I can't. I was like, I can try to teach you how to do this. Like, I don't think that's something you just. I'm like, I taught myself at like 5 or 6, but didn't realize how much of a skill that was, how much of a talent that would be. Or to me, it was just natural. It was something I wanted to build a peaceful playground in my mind, type of thing, right? And so it led me. Now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of it kind of made this path for me. It paved the way for me to look into other things. Like I've always been fascinated with myself, if that makes sense without a sound.
Yes,
A little
yes.
conceited or anything like that. It's just I've always been curious.
A capable imagination.
That's what I'm saying. And it was something I did for fun. It was something that I got better and better at. And it's like now as an adult, I don't need peace and quiet. It doesn't matter the environment. It doesn't matter about it. I can visualize like nobody's business. I'm never bored because of that.
Yes.
I can visualize all day. I can visualize for hours and just run like that little movie through my head. So yeah, it did open up a lot of doors, and that makes so much sense. And that's why I asked it the way I asked that question, because the only time they bring up your childhood that I remember is when they were saying like they used to call you like stupid, or they thought you were this, that, and the third, and then you ended up surprising everyone, and it's like, oh, he's a genius. And so
yes, I didn't speak for several years, and when you don't speak, people make assumptions.
They just think you're something.
But I was observing and using my capable imagination, so that when I did finally break that barrier, out came a lot of wisdom gained, as you know, from being in that space.
Yes. That's absolutely true. People would be surprised if you just be quiet and observe. Yes. It'll make you understand yourself a whole lot better. It'll make you look inward automatically, to be honest with you. If you hold yourself accountable, people, you have to have some sense of accountability. And it helps you honestly get to a peaceful state. Because then you kind of realize that people are somewhat on the same wavelength. From top to bottom, you kind of sort of just get it. You like, you know what? No one's that bad. Like, people do things, yes, and we get it. But overall, on a day-to-day, people aren't really that bad. Like, if you really sit and think about it, and if we thought more so that way than the ones that consider their own selves, people only make certain decisions because they think that people think this of them, right? And sometimes they end up, taking that in. They end up not observing. They're supposed to observe, but they end up absorbing.
Absorbing and projecting. Projecting.
That's there. You go. That's the word I was missing. Absolutely. So yeah. So all that does, y'all. Whew, learn some things here today. Okay, so I can run with that forever. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so question number 3. Were there any points or any advice or anything that you put out there that may have been misinterpreted or may have went over people's head, or they thought it was one thing but that's not what your intentions were? Like, is there anything like that?
Well, in a way, yes, there was. It was that in 1905, when I formulated the equation E equals mc squared, it took decades for scientists to, in general, in university level studies, to accept the study of that equation. And then it science moved into the quantum level, and everyone was looking for a theory of everything. And I did not jump on that. And when I passed and got into afterlife to figure out what was really going on, and then figure out a way to come back and tell you all what's going on, that the direction of quantum equations goes back to E equals mc squared. That is my quantum equation of the quantum of everything.
Okay. Now my next question kind of ties into number 3. So for beginners, like, what advice would you give on how to follow your work? I still, like, I get it from a, like, intuitive, like, standpoint, but I don't really, like, what is M equals, hold on.
E equals mc
Can't even get the
squared.
question out. I'm so confused.
Yes, E equals
Okay.
mc squared is the equation that
And that goes to, you said the...
Go on.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. So, so that goes with the quantum field.
Now that I have passed from physical world into afterlife, I can clearly see, yes, that it does. When I was in my body, it wasn't considered to be the unified field theory. I didn't even myself consider that it was. I just stopped looking, and everyone said I was a curmudgeon for not jumping on the bandwagon. But in life, I didn't equate the two until I got into afterlife and realized it was that all along. So the work that we've done from afterlife to flesh out in terms of maps and an understanding of process, and we actually have a picture we can show you of we call it the new operating system. It's all the pieces of the operating system, unified field theory, and on there we have what we call a map of human consciousness, which means that to be human, you need to have these 3 dimensions of intellect, intuition, and emotion that all work together, that like organs, spiritual organs. And then
the Trinity. Like
yes,
the Trinity.
yes, that's so many layers of interpretation to about the numbers and everything, and you can look at these maps and get very intricate about it. But going back to what was it that inspired me when I was 4 years old, we have put forth a definition of compassion with a capital C as the 5th fundamental force of the universe, the intelligence that's using the other 4 fundamental forces to impel the creation of this physical world one step at a time. And it's quantifiable in that we use the root of it, which is compass. And that helps us, we won't go into all the deeper explanations right now, but that helps define how this compassion, this God force, this 5th fundamental force of the universe operates. And so it's compassion that takes energy and creates consciousness that then has the ability to perceive the mathematics to start with, what latitude, longitude, DNA, space-time, body, the mathematics in the compilation, the particle. And then it is able to send that gravitational wave from the center of the earth up to the surface and create the entire universe. And this new map can be as complex as you want. You can study if you're a deep study, or we can go to the very, very basic human level of understanding that we could explain to a child, and everything in between, because it is
Right.
the theory of everything. So we can go from the simplest to the most complex, the most macrocosm to the most microcosm.
Oh my goodness. Because it makes so much sense. It seems, I think it's a lot more simpler than it's been painted out to be. I feel like the only reason it is that way is because there's so many of us in the collective, and there's so many different ways for us to go about doing things, that every or any way that could fit you is there. Like any possibility for it. In other
Yes.
words, there's no missing it. Like, you don't have to do it my way. You don't have to do it Barbara's way. You don't have to do it Al's way.
No,
You
you
can
have to
do
do
it
it your
your way.
way.
All of these
You
things
have to do
exist
it
so
your
that you
way.
can.
You have to do
Yeah,
it your way. It's not
it's
even a matter of you don't do it like them. You have to do it your way. And people get choked up.
they get caught
Like,
up.
what does that mean? I have to be somebody. You have to stand up and you have to figure out your way. And people are always looking to others to lead them and guide them and inspire them and tell them. But in the end, it comes down to you being willing to create your own life
Very much so.
interactively, intentionally.
Because if you really think about it, it's like if the universe chose this particular focal point, why would I want to be exactly like someone else if they already have that focal point? Like, if that makes sense to some of
It's
because
scientifically
I'm
impossible.
in this particular, like, that part. I love it because if you really think about it, it kind of it takes away from the whole point of being someone different. If you're gonna just be turn around and try to be like, it makes no sense to me. Like it, not judging in a non-judging way. It's just, if I just feel like we're not supposed to be on this autopilot. You do the same thing. You do this. You do the same. It run like, I think it's nothing wrong with something that, say for example, runs in the family, but I don't think someone should be crucified for going outside of something that runs in the family. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Because it's like
Well,
we're not supposed to. You see what it looks like when we're all trying to do the same thing that each other's doing. Like, we see the results of that. We praise people who do things differently. You can hit a note I can't hit. You can sing that song like no one ever sung it before. You know. So it's like we do find ourselves praising these people, but it's like we're all talented. And at the end of the day, praise yourself. Give yourself credit. Invest in yourself. Be yourself. Like, we all have something to offer out here. It's fun. It's fun, you guys. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Like, I love this. Oh my goodness. Ali's not playing today. I said, no, you need be yourselves. You heard that. If you don't take nothing that's away from be yourself. Okay, so last and final question. So, is there anything that you wish to say or express or reiterate or go over? I don't know if it's anything that you would like right about now to say to the collective. You have the floor.
yes, that you are, today is November 5th, 2024, and it is Election Day in the United States of America. And we want to take this opportunity to remind people that peace begins within each individual. It begins within you. It doesn't begin in a leader, although you want to support leaders who support the collective, who support peace, who support helping you live a life where you can live provided for and thriving. But in the end, your neighbor is your family. Your strangers who pass you on the streets are part of this great family of humans that are all here trying to do the same thing, whether you think so or not. And so the more that you can remove judgments and not be so sure of everything, leave some room for some mystery.
Yeah.
And in the end of the day, love yourself. Practice self-love. Speak to yourself kindly and generously. Let yourself feel all your feelings. Listen for your intuition. And then do what it tells you to do. And those are the very basic human commonalities that every human has. And the more you can unite in this way, the more you're going to see peace manifest naturally.
Yes, indeed. That's what we're here for, you guys, to promote peace. And thank you,
Namaste.
Al. Thank you to the party. Namaste. Thank you. Miss Barbara. Thank you for being a vessel.
Absolutely. I love my job. I love this work.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. I never feel tired after this job. I always feel even more energized to do other things. So you guys, thank you. We're gonna let Miss Barbara go. And you guys, make sure you hit us with any questions that you may have for when we bring Miss Barbara back, because of course she's coming back. She's gonna be a regular at this point. You guys feel the energy. We're on this track here promoting peace every single day. Oh my goodness, easiest job in the world. I love this. Okay, so thank you, Miss Barbara, for gracing us with your presence. Is there anything you would like to? Oh, can you remind them of the hoodie? The breathwork real quick, and then
yes, breathedeepwithin.com, barbarawith.com. I've got a how to channel class coming up in January that if anybody really wants to dive into how this is, and you can get readings, and like all of your listeners, you get half off my readings, so keep that in mind too. So
we got discounts, y'all.
You got discounts.
I love
Gotta love a discount.
Barbara also has YouTube. I love a discount. I ain't gonna lie to you. Even if it's $1 off.
I know. I try every time just to get at least $1. Good God.
I'm trying to tell you. Oh my goodness. All right, you guys, so let us know what else you would like to hear if you're interested in anything that we didn't hit or touch on. Anything that you have for Al or the party. Make sure you check out Miss Barbara's social media, her YouTube channels, everything that she's involved in. She does other interviews as well. I'll make sure that I'll provide you guys on any platform you see where I post her. I'm going to have the information in whatever description or box that they have available there. And you can also check out my website. I'll also have that available there, y'all. The website's coming along. Make sure y'all join. So I think that was about it. And until next time, you guys, we love you all. Peace. Peace out.